talking fantasy football with my friends the other day.
Well, Josh?
Wow. Look who's back. Where the hell have you been? At home, sitting in your asses?
Go away now, Josh.
Actually, my name is Alan. The dorky white kid with a Cub Scout bandana on his head.
Bravo.
November.
Tango.
It's the balls.
Yes. It's not a bald spot, it's a bald head. The whole thing is bald.
Welcome to Bent on Fantasy Football. We are your hosts, Alan Bentley.
And Josh Worley.
All right, this week we've got, we're going to be talking about trades this week. We're going to preview tonight's game. It is September 5th. It is the start of the football season, and we will be
Thank
talking
God,
about,
man.
Yeah, I know, it's been a long time in coming. So, we, like I said, we're going to be talking about trades. We're going to be talking about tonight's game, and we're going to jump right into it. Let's get our drinks going. Why don't you go first, Josh?
All right, let's get our drinks going. Week one is here, guys. I mean, I'm so excited about this. I could not wait. And I know Alan shares the sentiments, but it's about freaking time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So my can says, finally, football has come back to prime time. Thank you, The Rock.
I think The Rock says it much better.
He does. All right, let's pop these open. Join us. Sit back and enjoy the show.
We want to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe. We got a few new subscribers this past week.
Yeah,
so.
we did. It's starting to build up. It's fantastic. As you guys know, if you watched episodes in the past seasons, we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. We want to do a live, so help us out. Like, subscribe, and share. Send all your friends our video. Make sure that they see it. Even if they don't talk to you anymore, it's totally fine.
Especially if they don't talk to you anymore.
Yeah, send it to the people you don't like. Maybe they'll like, subscribe, and share. I don't know, but please do that. We really want to get our names out there and get our faces out there and get enough subscribers to do
Yeah,
it.
or we can do it live. That'll be awesome.
All right, we're gonna start off this week by talking about trades. Now, we're not gonna just be talking about.
Oh, by the way, nothing. I'm not bent about anything. What's Gub?
No, I'm in a great mood. I mean,
Me
season
too.
starts tonight,
Yeah.
and I'm in a great mood. So we don't have anything gub that's got us bent. So
Okay.
we are going to talk about trades, though. We're going to talk about a trade that was proposed on our league, and we're going to talk about how to stimulate trades on your league. We're going to kind of go into a whole thing on trades because we at this point in the season, trades are kind of important, but a couple weeks from now, you're really going to be looking at trades.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you may or may not be happy with your draft, and that's going to be kind of determined within the next couple
I
of
mean,
weeks.
and it's just. I mean, it's inevitable. Injuries are going to happen.
Yes.
In the next couple weeks.
Yes,
So I wouldn't be surprised if one or two superstars go down in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Last year was crazy with injuries.
Oh, yeah. And it seems like every year there's a certain point in the year that you see a lot of injuries. So we're going to get you prepared for that this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start out by talking about a trade on our league. We don't have to say the names of the teams that were traded, but he offered it to me. And so that being said, let's talk about it. We had, you have...
Well, my thing is, after the draft, I drafted 7 running backs, okay, and I only have 4 receivers. So I'm a little weak at the receiver position depth-wise. So I offered Allen, Devontae Adams, and Devin Singletary in return for Garrett Wilson.
Right.
Because I figured I could strengthen my wide receiver core a little bit, and then free up another bench spot for another receiver that I could pick up, and he would get 2 starters in return.
Right.
So-
Now, we're not going to tell you how it came out because we want your feedback on it and what you think and who would have come out better. Or if you think it was an even trade, let us know that too. Just put it in the comments down below. It would be awesome.
Absolutely.
So, Adams and Singletary
Yes.
for Wilson. What was your, obviously you said you're short on wide receivers. And by the way, on that note, how do your bye weeks look now that you're short on receivers?
I'm not even looking at bye weeks yet.
Oh, okay. So if they have a bye week in, let's say, week 4, you're...
I'll be 3-0 at the time, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have the 0 on the wrong side. It's 0-3.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about that a little bit. Adams and Singletary. I like Devontae Adams.
Okay.
We've talked about this. Obviously, I drafted Garrett Wilson second round this year, or first round this year. Here's my thought process, okay?
Okay.
Singletary, in your pitch to sell this trade, you said he had a breakout season. Not really a breakout season, though, right? So
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns, but he did have some receiving touchdowns.
He
I think
did.
he had like 4 receiving touchdowns, 5 receiving. So not
He put up a good stat line though. He was a top 15 running back.
not bad. My problem though is the team itself.
It's the Giants.
Right. They're going to have to run the ball because they don't have anybody to pass it to, and they don't have anybody to pass for them. So
Danny Dimes.
that's what I said. Nobody to pass for them.
Right.
So I don't really like this trade. Again, I'm not going to tell you whether I accepted it or not because Adams on the other side of that coin, great receiver, and I like Gardner Minshew.
Mhm.
Okay, I like him as a quarterback. Always have, even though he's been on however many teams, 3 or 4, whatever teams.
Yeah.
I like him, and the mustache is awesome. I gotta say that. I'm gonna grow one someday too. Actually, if the Bears don't win this week, we've got something else coming up too.
Oh God.
No. It's nothing like that. This beard. Oh, I don't have a beard.
Me neither. I shaved today.
But you know what? I may have one if the Bears don't win. I might do a
God, please win,
no
Bears.
trim until the Bears win. How's that?
Oh God, please win, Bears. Please win.
All right. So back to Adams. So Adams again, good receiver. I like the quarterback. I'm just not sold on the entire package for Oakland. For the
Las
Raiders.
Vegas.
Yeah,
Yes.
for the
It's
Raiders.
hard. It's hard to say that because you're thinking Oakland, Los Angeles,
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
What city are they in this year? Same thing with the Chargers.
Yeah.
So I'm not sold on the whole package though.
No.
I'm not. I don't think they lost Josh Jacobs, who was an integral part of their offense.
I would argue that Zamir White is just as good, and he's younger than Josh Jacobs.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Now, Josh Jacobs. When you think of Josh Jacobs, you don't think of. At least I don't think of him as being. I think of him as being around for 30 years in the league because his name has been said so many times over the last couple of years.
It has.
Because he was so dynamic. But if you look at it, he's only like 25 or 26. He hasn't even hit that 30 mark yet, where running backs tend to lose a step or two.
Yeah.
So to say that Zamir White is as good as Josh Jacobs, no way.
I think he is. I think he is. Also, you got to remember they picked up Brock Bowers. He's going to be a huge target monster too.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that would take a lot off of Devontae Adams.
And it might. Again, I'm just not sold on the total package.
Okay.
So that being said, Wilson was my first pick. Here's my thought with Wilson. Okay. The Jets have a much improved defense.
Okay.
They have Aaron Rodgers back at quarterback. Hopefully he plays more than 4 games this season.
More than 4 downs, you mean?
Four downs, yeah. More than 4 downs this season, and more than 4 games also. So I think what's going to happen is he's probably going to be one of those wide receivers that have a ton of targets at the beginning of the game and then it tails off at the end of the game. The question is he going to be the one that's racking up all the points for the Jets?
I think he is, but to that point, 100% Garrett Wilson's value depends on Aaron Rodgers being healthy. If he's out, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. 100% on that. I agree totally. Same thing. He had a good year last year, but not a great year. If Aaron Rodgers would have been at quarterback, though it pains me to say it, he would have had a great year.
Yeah, we don't like Aaron Rodgers as a person.
No.
And we didn't like him because he was a Packer, but he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, guys.
Yeah.
So
the thing
he'll get you the ball.
The reason I don't like Aaron Rodgers because he said he owns the Bears, and he don't own the Bears.
There's other reasons why I don't like Aaron Rodgers,
Well,
but we can get into those later.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. We could do a whole show on that.
We could do a whole season on Aaron Rodgers.
So let us know what you think about that trade. Let us know if you think I should accept it or reject it or what you think. Give us your comments. Tell us what you think about the whole situation.
Yeah.
While we're on the line of trades, let's talk about how to stimulate trades within your league. At this point in the season, a lot of trades are sent out there and a lot of them are rejected.
Yeah.
The reason, though, at least I believe, is because you just drafted. You don't know that this player's they lose their quarterback, or that they're not going to have a good season, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
You got to have faith in your draft, and you gotta be able to say, you know what, I put a good team together with those 14 rounds or 15 rounds of picks that I did.
Yes.
So,
And also, to take that point even further, a lot of teams will reject trades just based on their ADP. Okay, and you see players falling into the trap 4, 5, 6 weeks down the road. The player is underperforming, but hey, I drafted him in the first round. He's a first round ADP. Well, no, he's not anymore.
right.
And a lot of people hold true to that ADP as its gospel. You know what I mean?
Right. And the problem that you run into too is like, if, for example, in the trade that we talked about with Wilson and Adams,
Mm-hmm.
If I would have wanted Adams, I would have taken him.
Okay.
I didn't. I drafted Wilson.
Right.
Okay. So you'll see a lot
Well,
of that.
first round is too soon for Adams anyway. I think I got him in the third.
I understand that. But again, you have that mentality that, if I'd have wanted him, I'd have drafted him.
If he would have fell to you, because I was pick a few ahead of you. Oh, 6 picks ahead of you. If he would have fallen to you at the end of the third, would you taken him?
Yeah, I would have taken him at the end of the third.
Okay,
Yeah. I
okay.
would, definitely.
So I got him mid third, basically.
Yep. So that being said, do you have any suggestions on how to stimulate trades within your league?
This early, it's a little tough because guys are, like I said, still looking at that ADP as the word,
Right.
That's as concrete, solid.
Right.
A few more weeks into the season, a lot of the good players I'll say, will start to recognize trends where a guy is trending down. He's not living up to his ADP. Now, I want to give you a stat right here. 50% of guys drafted in the first round over the last 15 years. So we're talking in a 10-team league, 5 first rounders in a 12-team league, 6 first rounders don't live up to their ADP. Okay, so that's what you got to figure. That stat is from Fantasy Sports Radio on XM, by the way. So, but yeah, don't hold true to the ADP. Give it a couple weeks, and if they start to underperform, you got to trade them. Or get what value you can.
And as a commissioner of the league, one of the things that I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I've not been in, and that's dynasty leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty leagues and keeper leagues. As the commissioner of that, you could propose that, for example, you could add draft picks to a trade.
I love that idea. I tried to do that. I tried to make that offer to you this year.
Yeah, I mean for future picks.
Yes. Okay. I gotcha.
So for next season, because you're in a dynasty keeper league, that type of thing, you're gonna have a lot of the same owners coming back and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put draft picks in with the trade value to up the trade value
Right.
for next season, or you could do a player to be named later. So you could say, or a conditional player to be named later. Look, if this person exceeds 500 yards by week 7 or whatever, you could say, I'm going to give you this person. If they don't, I'm going to give you this person.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you could add some value that way, and try to stimulate trades a little bit. Another thing that came to mind as I was thinking about this is on some leagues. Now, not all of them, obviously, but some leagues, they add points for being the home team. Like, for example, they might give you a tenth of a point for being the home team as an advantage because you have the home field advantage, quote unquote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing that,
I don't like that.
I don't either. But some leagues, I've seen some leagues that do that. Instead of doing that, replace that point value with a trade. So, I guess in the example that we had before, let's say you wanted Adams you wanted to give me Adams and Singletary for Garrett Wilson and a point. So you get one full point taken away from you and added to the other person.
Okay, so it's a 2-point swing basically.
Right.
Okay.
Or you could do if you're in a fractional league, you could do a tenth of a point. You could say, I'll give you 2/10 of a point plus this player and this player and this player.
Okay.
Now you take that off of your total points for the season. That's going to get a little complicated for
0.2
commissioners.
points doesn't sound like a lot, but I've made the playoffs by 0.02 before.
Right, so it can be very crucial, especially if you make multiple trades in a season.
Yeah.
You know, if you make 3 trades, you're talking over a half point now.
Absolutely.
You know, so you could look at it that way. That's something else you can do. That's going to be a nightmare for commissioners.
It is.
But that being said, you could also say that any 2 teams that make a trade get a half a point or get a tenth of a point. My goal here is to try to stimulate trades, because trades in fantasy football are very, very hard.
They are. I usually make 2 or 3 a year, but I may be sending out 40, 50 offers. You know, people
Right.
just don't want to part with. And people want the moon
Right.
when you offer them
That's-
trades.
and
You know,
that's, and that's the other thing too, is when you're offering up a trade to somebody, give them value for the value you want. There's tons and tons of different trade analyzers online. You can go to any one of those and you can put in the players, and it's going to tell you, in their opinion, how even that draft or that trade is. I keep saying draft.
yeah,
How
even or lopsided.
Yeah, and it'll tell you, what you should do or what you shouldn't do, and you could use that as a guideline.
Yes.
To say, I need a running back, you need a wide receiver, and the trade analyzer shows that it's going to be slightly in your favor, but you know what? I need that player bad.
And the thing
Let's
about
do it.
these trade analyzers too, they're far smarter than we are.
They
They look at future matchups, they look at defensive, offensive schemes, and they calculate the values based on that. Now, we don't have the time or the brain power to do that for every trade that we're offering, but these sites do. I mean, there's just search
and
trade analyzer.
Yeah, and then there's tons of them out there. I looked at this just a few days ago, and there's tons and tons of them out there. Some of them you got to pay for. Skip those unless you're already subscribed to that particular website. Skip
Yeah.
those. Get onto the free ones. The free ones are just as good as the.
They are.
Let me back up. Almost all the free ones are as good. I'm going to talk about ESPN here, because ESPN's trade analyzer or trade, recommender or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
is horrible, absolutely horrible. ESPN fix it, because it's terrible. For the most part, the ones you see out there are pretty good, though. They're pretty solid.
Well, the thing is, too, we're in a league. We're not playing for money. It's just for bragging rights. I'm not gonna pay for a trade analyzer. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm not playing for anything,
Right.
That it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're in the negatives, and you're.
We're already in the negatives for putting on this show, but hey.
But I mean, as far as that goes, you're in the negatives, even though you haven't spent any money. You're on the league. You're in negatives, so
Yeah.
you're not going to win that money back. You're not going to get that money back if it's a free league.
Heck
So-
no.
But if you are on a paid league, definitely check it out. I still don't recommend using the paid ones.
I don't either.
I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're, subscribed to profootball.com or whatever, and it's one of the luxuries you have with that subscription, definitely use it. But other than that, find a free one.
Yeah,
There's tons of them out there.
Absolutely.
And, again, I want to go back. I can't emphasize enough on making your trades even as much as possible, as fair as possible. The reason I say that is because I know people that I've been on leagues with for many years that will offer you trades that are so lopsided you just laugh, and you just can't even read the whole thing because it's ridiculous. Make it fair. I mean, your opinion of a player may vary from somebody else's, but that doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
Absolutely.
Keep an
Yeah.
open mind with your trades and try to stimulate trades within your league. Any other suggestions for that?
Not. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Okay.
And I'll be interested to see how much more open after a couple weeks people in our league are open to trade. So
Yeah, in our league we've had trades over the years. We've had a few trades here and there. It's a very tight league as far as trades go because everybody's afraid they're going to make a mistake.
we haven't had any yet, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because in our league you have to vote for it anyway.
Oh, you
So,
do? Okay. Yeah, we haven't
So-
had a single one then.
Yeah. Either that or we just didn't ask you to vote. Because vote doesn't matter. No. But yeah, try to make them as even as possible, and definitely don't be afraid to make a mistake. You might hit gold. You don't know. I mean,
Absolutely.
the fantasy football world is full of twists and turns throughout the season. So jump on that bandwagon.
Plus, guys are going to get injured. You may have made a trade that you thought was lopsided. The big star goes down, and then you're sitting pretty.
Right.
You know.
Yep, it could happen. Could very well happen. So tonight's game, we have a good
Tonight's game, yeah, KC and Baltimore.
and they're playing in KC.
They are playing in KC. Now you have, is it the same league where you have Lamar and Derrick Henry both?
That's the other league that I'm in, not our league.
Right, but it's in the same league
Yes.
though.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
But the biggest takeaway for me is what I want to see is with Derrick Henry new to that offense, I want to see if he's going to be the one getting those short yardage touchdowns.
He will be, I think. Inside the 20, I think that he's going to be the go-to guy. Either him or Lamar. Either way, I got points on it. So
Yeah. But if here's my point though, if Henry takes a lot of those touchdowns, you almost need 100 yards rushing from Lamar to recoup that value. You know what I mean?
or 300 yards passing.
Or 300 yards passing. True.
Which if he is taking those points and he is making those runs, it's going to open up the passing game.
I think this is a high line tonight. I don't know what the over/under is, but I think they're expecting a lot of scoring. So
Yeah.
we don't bet on it, so we don't know. But
Yeah.
I would expect a high-scoring game, an exciting game.
Yeah, now Kansas City's defense is not the strongest defense in the league.
No.
So I'm expecting a big game on both sides. I think Baltimore's defense is better than Kansas City. So that being said, by just going on that, who do you think's going to win?
I'm going to give KC the home edge. Baltimore's defense, I would say, is overall is a little better. Baltimore's defense, where they've really struggled in the past couple of years, is those passes over the middle. So I would expect a big game out of Kelsey. Last year in this matchup, he had 11 targets, 11 receptions. I wouldn't say he's going to do that again.
What about the issue Kansas City had last year with having the dropsies all season?
Well, Kadarius Toney's not there anymore, so
Rashid Rice is.
Rasheed Rice is, yes.
He had greasy hands for most of the season too.
Yeah, but you got Pacheco who can catch passes out of the backfield. You got Kelsey, who I mentioned. I think he's going to see a lot of action tonight.
I think Kelsey's going to be the big weapon for Kansas City season long, unless somebody figures out a good way to stop
Yeah,
him.
Baltimore really needs to get a couple middle linebackers or something to shore up that middle of the field defense, because they are weak. They have been the last couple of years. That's one way to really exploit them.
Yeah, and it's funny too because they have some good defensive players, but yeah, like you said, that's been their weakness. It's been over the middle. Now, what happens if Mahomes hangs somebody out to dry, throws it up here with a linebacker bearing down on him?
Mahomes finds a way to win at home.
He
Okay. Baltimore, I think, will get the number 1 seed this year. I really do, out of the AFC. But Mahomes, Kansas City is one of the toughest places to play, in all of sports.
It is.
I say that Arrowhead's home field advantage, even though it's not called Arrowhead anymore, it's something else, but I'll call it Arrowhead.
Sure.
You know?
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's some corporate company's name now.
Like Steiner Electric or whatever, who knows. But Arrowhead is one of the toughest places to play. I'll give the Chiefs the home field. How about you?
I got to go with Baltimore on this one because, again, I think Baltimore, like you said, I think they're going to get the number 1 seed in the AFC this year. But
Okay.
I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's definitely going to be a shootout.
Okay.
We do want to remind you guys once again, though, to like, subscribe, and share. Please get our videos out there. Just in order, if you guys like, subscribe, and share to enough people, we don't watch it anymore. I don't care. We just want to do a live. If we can do a live.
Well, we would like them to watch it, but
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, if we can do a live, we're gonna have so much fun with that. We've got so many things that we can do with the live that we can't do here in the dungeon. And you know what? Going back to that, I just said the dungeon, and this is our temporary dungeon.
it is our temporary location.
So we will be moving again. It may not be till the end of the season, but we will be moving again, which means I got to move all this crap again. But that's all right. That's okay. It's all right. I don't mind doing it now.
You got to take down your Ryan Gosling poster and your Ryan Reynolds poster.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to, aren't I? Well, I don't know. Andy can walk her though.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, moving on. I'll put the Scarlett Johansson poster back up again.
Yes.
We do want to remind you guys that we need your support, and please help us out. I hate to beg for subscribers, but that's what it's come to.
Yeah.
We've only got like 9 million. So please subscribe, like, and share. And if you don't do that, you can get bent.
On fantasy football.